I'm gonna love you.
Hey everyone, welcome to Coffee with Brian. I'm gonna apologize ahead of time. My voice probably a little off. I'm sick. No, it's not the flu. Well, I don't think it is anyway. My wife got swabbed and it's they said she didn't have flu. We got similar symptoms, and I've not been running a fever, but as you can tell, my throat's really raw and my head's all congested. Ugh. Hate this time of year. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about some common mistakes that artists make, including myself. About the things I'm going to talk about, I pretty much do all of these. So I'm going to talk about common things that just about every artist does and things that we should strive to avoid. So let's just get right into it. Number one is rushing the work. And I know everybody's done this. You're working on a piece and you get to a point where you're just not feeling it anymore, or it's just not going the way you want it to go. And we're like, we just try to hurry up and get it done. We lose the passion for the piece and we just try to hurry up and get it done. That's a big mistake. And I'm bad about that too, really bad. If you get to that point to where you lose your passion for the piece you're working on, or you're not feeling it anymore, or you're not liking where it's going, number one advice I can give you, walk away from it. Put it down, put it away, come back in a half hour, an hour, a day, a week, a month later. Come back later when, with fresh eyes, with a fresh outlook on it, and see what happens there. See if you like the new direction. If you're still not liking it, put it down again. Walk away. Unless you're doing a commission piece, you got all the time in the world. And even if you're doing a commission piece, sometimes it's better to contact your customer and say, hey, I'm in a rut. They'll understand. They're paying for the piece. They don't want it rushed either. They want your top-notch work. So trust me, if you're in a rut, you think you need more time, let your customer know. 9 times out of 10, they'll be understanding. They'll appreciate you being honest with them. They'll appreciate the fact that you care enough about their piece of work that you're, not wanting to rush it, not wanting to make mistakes. So, if you're not feeling it, step away, walk away, come back later with a fresh set of eyes, with a new outlook on it, and see if the direction doesn't change. Well, my throat is really bad, folks. I'm telling you what. Like somebody took sandpaper. Just. Alright. This one, I'm really bad about. Letting people talk your price down. And the reason I'm really bad about this is because this is the majority of my income, is my artwork. Of course, I have other sources of income as well, but some people that do it for a hobby or whatever, they don't depend on their artwork for income. Well, I partially do, so that's why I've got a bad habit of, say I set a piece at $60, $65, what have you, and, people will always inevitably try to talk you down. It's human nature. You go buy a car, try to talk them down. You buy a house, try to talk them down. You buy, a lot of stuff. You try to talk them down. But you got to remember, not everything in life is that way. If you hire an electrician to wire your house, you can't try to talk him down, because more than likely he's just going to laugh in your face and walk away. You hire a plumber, you can't talk him down. You go to the doctor's office, you can't talk them down on their price. You go to a restaurant, to eat a meal. You can't talk them down on their price either. So there are certain things that have a set price. And in my opinion, art should be one of them. Because if you look at it, we artists put just as much time and effort into a piece of work as that electrician does, or that mechanic does, or that plumber does, And now I'm not one of them. I've not went to college for art, but there are a lot of artists that have been professionally trained, and they have years of college under their belt that they're still paying for these loans, student loans and stuff, So, their time is just as valuable as that electrician, that plumber, that mechanic, So, but and I know a lot of artists fall into this trap, You haven't sold a piece in a while, and this person's like, your piece worth $60, $65, and they're like, hey, I'll give you 40. It's tempting because you're thinking, I haven't sold one in a while, maybe I should just take it, at least I'll make some money, I'll recoup some of my money, and every once in a while, that's all right, but if you get in the habit of doing that, then it catches on and people are going to be like, well, I'll just talk him down in his price, I don't have to pay full price for none of this dude's artwork or this chick's artwork. Talk them down, then you can get it, well, so, it's hard not to, because trust me, money is very tempting, but you have to always look at your integrity too, and you have to look at your brand. You're building your brand here. So do you want your brand to be known as a cheap, gimmicky artist, or do you want to be known as a, well-rounded whatever artist? So you got to look at that too. So anyway, it's hard, I know, and it's okay every once in a while, but try not to do it all the time, because then you're going to get locked into that, and that's a place you don't want to be, trust me. Alright, number 3. And this one I'm bad about too. Care of your materials. I know it sucks. If you're working on, especially like me, if you're working on 2, 3, 4 projects at a time, because you've got ADHD or something like me, and you just can't stay focused on one thing for more than, X amount of time. So you got multiple projects going. It's hard to keep up with maintaining all your materials, cleaning your brushes properly, storing them properly, anything you use, your palette knives, your palettes, just anything you're using, it's hard to, putting your paint back where it's supposed to be. It's hard, trust me. I'm a slob, and it's like pulling teeth with me, trying to get me to maintain all my materials. Half the time I'll show y'all. I don't see. See over there? See that big old met? Man, I got junk laying every day somewhere. It's hard. It really is. It's tough. But, the better you maintain your materials, the less you're going to have to buy them to replace them. So, you got to think of that. Alright. Number 4, this kind of ties in with that. Organization. Before, well, as you can see, all these shelves on the wall, over here too. Before that was done, this stuff was everywhere. My paint was everywhere. I would think I was out of color. I'd go to Hobby Lobby, Michael's, wherever, buy me another couple tubes, come back a week later, find 3 brand new tubes sitting in a corner somewhere that I didn't even know I had, because it's not organized, And it's tough, especially if you're a slob like me, to be organized, because, once you get it to that point, it's not so bad to keep up with it. You use the blue, you get down to the blue, you put the blue back in its place where it's supposed to be, and it's hard. It is hard, especially if you, like I said, you got 3, 4 projects going. It's hard to get everything put back, especially if, your spouse is waiting to go out to eat or something, and you're like, oh, fine, let me put this stuff up, and you toss it up on the shelf or whatever. It is tough, you know, and so, but being organized can save you money, you know. Like I said, you know, I've went out and bought collars before and not known that I had 2 or 3 brand new ones sitting somewhere that I couldn't even see because they were covered up by other junk. So it pays to be organized. The biggest one I've done that with spray paint, because, you know, over time the cans will get the overspray on them, and then, you know, a lot of spray paint artists will color code the caps because of the overspray. Well, I don't do that, and because of that, I don't know how many times, like, well, right now, you can see up there, I don't know if you can see it or not, you see that silver up there, that chrome color? Yeah, I got 2 other brand new cans of that, and I didn't even know I had it. Well, now I got 3. So, organization helps, save you some money, especially if you're a starving artist like me. So, anyway. Alright, number 5, being afraid to explore new things. This is a big one for a lot of artists. You know, we get comfortable in our set medium formats, whatever you want to call it. You know, like me, spray paint art, acrylic flow, acrylic abstract. That's my main ones in drawing. You know, I have, like I've said many times, I have the, my brain's not even working today, folks, airbrush stuff behind me. I've had it for a couple of years now. I tried it just 2-3 times, and, you know, that whole patience thing, that ADHD thing, whatever it is, ADD, I don't know what it is, but just, you know, yeah, can't handle it. So it's sitting on a shelf, you know. And I've got oil paints, you know. I need to delve into watercolors, you know, into inks, into, you know, there's a plethora of art forms out there. You know, you've got pastels, you've got chalks, you've got graphite, you've got oils, and I'm talking about things I ain't tried yet. Watercolor, you've got sculpturing, you've got clay working, you've got pottery, you've got bronze working, you've got glass blowing, you've got, I mean, there's an absolute plethora of other art forms you can try. So, you know, don't try to limit yourself into one niche. You know, a lot of artists do that. I mean, you want to concentrate on one thing. You want to really be good at one thing. Like for me, I'd say probably my best is spray paint art. Obviously, that's what everybody loves. But I try my best to branch out into other things because, you know, if you stay trapped in that one niche, then, you know, that's all you know. If you have a customer comes up and says, hey, you know, can you do this? Well, I've not really ever tried that. You just cost yourself money. You know, if you're just doing it for a hobby, you know, fine, stay with what you know. But, you know, if you want to be a well-rounded artist, you need to not be afraid to explore new things, you know. You always need to be striving to learn, you know. My granddad, he's long since passed, but he used to have a saying that the day you think you know it all, you might as well just go to your grave, you know. Because, I mean, what else? There's no reason to live. If you've got nothing else to learn, then what's reason to live? You know, you always need to be striving to learn something. So, you know, branch out, expand your horizons, so to speak. Don't be afraid to try new things. Number 6, this is a bad one for me, but like I said, part of this I depend on for my income, is doing it just for the money. My wife gets on to me, my family gets on to me, you know, friends get on to me about this one. Sometimes I forget just about the passion and the love for art. You know, sometimes I get too worried about doing it for the money. I get wrapped up in custom jobs. I get wrapped up in doing these YouTube videos. I get wrapped up in trying to, like a factory, put them out, pump them out, bam, bam, bam. Got to get that workout. Got to get that workout. The more work I get out, the more money I make, And in doing that, I forget the reason I'm doing it to begin with is because I love art. I love everything about art. I love the beauty in art. I love, sometimes I miss, just going out, driving around, seeing nature. I'm finding art in nature, finding art in everyday things, and, I miss, like, even at the Walmart, seeing people with the blue and black hair and stuff. That's art to me. I love that because it's art to me. And people that wear the loud clothes, I love it. It's art, And sometimes I forget and I miss that passion that got me started in it to begin with, And so if you're doing it for money, like me, sometimes you just need to step back and do some pieces just for you, Like the 4-panel abstract I did, yes, I put it on YouTube, but that was more just for me. I've been wanting to do it for a while, and it's hanging on our wall, It's not going anywhere. So, sometimes you got to do that to remind you of why you started doing it anyway. Because you can get stuck in this rut doing it for money, and it will show. Trust me. Your work will not be, the passion will not be in your work. So when you get in that rut, you need to step back and say, you know what? I'm going to do me a couple pieces just for me. I'm not going to sell them. I'm going to chillax. I'm going to have fun with it. And then you can get back on track. All right. Well, what number am I on? I forgot where I'm at. Oh, number 7. Yeah, this is a bad one. Doing custom work or doing work you don't enjoy just because you need the money. This one, I find myself doing a lot. I've taken custom jobs that I really have not liked doing. I'm going to be honest with you. And I think the end result showed in the work. Because like I said, if that passion's not there, it still may come out all right. But it would come out better if the passion was there. So, every once in a while, you kind of don't got no choice. If you're doing it for the money like me, and the paintings aren't selling, sometimes you got to take that custom work that you may not necessarily like to do. Because, well, you got to pay bills, you got to put food on the table. So, but I try not to do any more than I just absolutely have to do, because the more pieces you put out that don't have that passion in them, you know what I'm saying? You're going to get caught in that niche. You're going to become that artist that, look at this, You don't want stuck in that rut, trust me. So I try not to do very many that. Now, when I say that, those of you that have hired me for custom, there are some custom work I've done that I actually enjoyed doing. Like the Western painting I just did for one of my friend's father. I actually enjoyed doing that. I actually had a lot of fun with that. So, and I think it showed in the painting, I did a drawing for another friend of mine, Scarecrow, Morph, Wizard of Oz thing. I'm not gonna lie, I was leery about starting that one because that was outside my norm, Usually when I'm drawing from a reference photo. There was no reference photo for this. I had to use my imagination for this, and it wasn't just one character. I had to morph 3 characters into one. And then I had restraints put on me that I was a limited color scheme because tattoo artists, more colors they use, more tattoos going to cost. So I had to limit it to like 3-4 colors, and I had to keep it basic, so I was working within boundaries. So I was really leery starting that project, but once I got into it, I found that the limitations actually became fun because it was like a challenge to me. Okay, well, I've got to do this. How can I make this look cool as crap with a limited color palette and not being overly elaborate in the work, keeping it simple? And I gotta tell you, I love the end result. I think it turned out cool. And I actually, there were times I'd step away because, like I said in the beginning, I felt myself, rushing a little bit. So I'd step away. And in that project, I actually looked forward to coming back. I'd wake up and I'd look forward to drawing on that each day, so. But with that being said, there has been some custom work I've done that, I wasn't that happy with, because it wasn't typically what I do, Now, like pets, I love drawing pets, so I've got another friend, I did a couple of her dogs that passed on, and, it was an honor for me because she chose me, and I felt gratitude for that she thought enough of my artistic ability to memorialize her love pets, forever on her wall. And, I love drawing pets anyway and portraits and stuff, so that was right up my alley. And, custom work like that, I welcome because, that made me feel good on multiple different levels. I got to honor her pets, something she's going to be able to look at the rest of her life, and I love drawing pets anyway, and it just so many different levels. That stuff I love doing, but if you've been an artist for a while, you know what I'm talking about. Every now and then you get a piece that you don't really want to do, but, if part of your income is based on this, every once in a while you just got to suck it up and take one for the team and do it, and try your hardest to make the outcome look professional. Because like I said, if you get stuck in that rut and you try to rush it and everything, it's going to show in the end result, You've got to somehow dig deep and find a way to put your love into that work, even if you don't like doing it, or it's going to show. So there have been pieces I've done, trust me, there's been a whole lot of walking away and coming back. I had one custom piece I did that I think I walked away and came back, I want to say 30, 40 times on it. And, it looked professional when I got done, but there was a whole lot of walking away from that puppy, let me tell you. So, anyway, I hope some of these these lists I went through, I hope it helps you to recognize some of the bad habits, that artists fall into and maybe avoid them. Like I said, some of them are really, really hard to avoid, but and I struggle with it every day, trust me. You're not the only one. I know I'm not the only one. About every artist I know struggles with these things, so, but, maybe we can help each other, remind each other to the things to look for and to try to remind each other why we got started in this to begin with, the love of the art itself, Let's not get wrapped up in the money part of it. Don't get me wrong, that money's nice. That money pays the bills. That money feeds my belly. But let's not forget the passion and the love. Because every great piece of work throughout history has been created with passion and love. So, remember that. Anyway, I'm going to get off here, y'all. I'm going to go find me a cough drop, some throat spray, some Tylenol, whatever else I can find, man. beef broth, something, I don't know. I'm going to go lay on the couch or something, folks. So, anyway, I love y'all. Y'all be good to each other. Take care of yourselves. Try to avoid this plague crap going around. And I'll bring you something again real soon, folks. Thank you for watching, everyone. Remember, click on my goofy little mug down there to subscribe to my channel. Smash that like button to show me some love and support. And leave me comments down below in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about the video, what you'd like to see in the future, or just how your day's been. Doesn't matter. Just leave me a comment. And as always, folks, I love y'all. Thank you for showing your support. And I'll see you again real soon, folks.